Welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. When Kayla visited the Horton residence, she noticed Julie. Kayla expressed her concern about not being able to get in touch with Chad. Julie informed Kayla that Chad was at the burial of Abigail. Julie told Kayla that she was aware that Kayla had proposed the exhumation. Kayla was aware that Chad had presented his request to Paulina, who, in her capacity as mayor, might then authorize the exhumation. Kayla was also aware that Chad had encountered a problem. Julie clarified that Jack had been the snag. Julie clarified that the idea of excavating Abigail's body had horrified and furious Jack. Even though Kayla had been the one to proclaim Abigail dead, Kayla reminded Julie that it would be absurd for her to label Abigail's continued existence as impossible given all that had transpired to both herself and Steve. Julie mentioned that although their family had experienced some losses, they had also had some miracles. Doug joined Kayla and Julie in the living area after a little while. Julie asked Kayla if she would like to stay and watch Yellowstone with Doug and Julie for the season finale. When Steve came back to town, Kayla told them she would wait and see it with him, so she declined. "So, Kayla, what brought you here today?" inquired Doug. Kayla was at a loss for words. Julie raised her voice. "Darling, there's something I haven't told you about, but now that Jack knows." "Now that Jack knows what?" Doug inquired. "Darling, there's something you have to hear," Julie answered. Doug said it would be wonderful news if Abigail was still living after being brought up to date. One of the gravediggers at the cemetery informed Chad and Jack that Abigail's coffin was prepared for opening. Chad inquired as to Jack's well-being. Jack was angry that Clyde Weston had staged the entire incident in order to cause Abigail's family additional suffering by making them repeat the terrible experience of losing Abigail. Jack and Chad braced themselves. When the coffin's lid was lifted, the worker discovered it was empty. What Chad wanted done was inquired by the head gravedigger. Jack and Chad agreed to handle things from there. Chad brushed off the employees. Jack and Chad peered into the vacant casket. Jack pondered its meaning. "Jack, I'm not sure," answered Chad. "Oh my God, I just got a call from City Serve," said Rafe as he walked over. Rafe became aware of what he was seeing. Rafe assumed someone had desecrated the grave. To Jack and Chad, he vowed he would take Abigail back to her final resting place. Chad cut Rafe off. "That's the issue. We are both unaware of whether this was her true last resting place." Carrie and Leo got together in Leo's hotel room and started kissing. Carrie and Leo sat at the edge of Leo's bed and kissed, then Leo pulled away. Carrie assured Leo that it was acceptable to take his time. "Actually, I don't know if I want us to sleep together at all," remarked Leo. "Pardon me while I take a complete mental break, but I think we should," Leo said to Carrie. "I believe we ought to end." Carrie was described by Leo as incredibly hot and irresistible, and he apologized, but he acknowledged that he had sensed no spark. "It happens," Carrie remarked, reaching up to put on his t-shirt. Carrie said, "That's a funny way to treat your first groupie, though." "Oh, God," Leo let out a sigh. Carrie turned to walk away. He was called back by Leo for a final kiss. Following the kiss, Leo pondered for a short while before glumly stating, "I just wanted to be sure." Carrie departed. Perplexed, Leo took a seat again on the side of the bed. Leo wondered himself, "What is wrong with me?" At Marlena's flat, Jada appeared. Marlena informed Jada that Bobby had requested another Jada visit. Marlena was told by Jada that she had gone to see Bobby, but had not been able to persuade him to reveal Everett's true self. Marlena also mentioned a failed effort. Bobby claimed to know who killed Li Shin, Jada told Marlena, because Bobby had seen the murderer shortly after the crime. Conversations with Bobby, according to Marlena, were like a game of chess. Jada concurred. She informed Marlena that she had read about Did. Jada questioned whether Bobby's image had any other goals outside defending Everett. It was clear, according to Jada, that Bobby was attempting to rekindle their romance. Jada inquired to Marlena, in your professional opinion, do you think Bobby is telling the truth about Li Shin's murder case, or is he just stringing me along to give me a reason to keep coming back to Bayview? Marlena informed Jada that it was impossible to determine whether Bobby was telling the truth. Jada said she would have to give Bobby's evidence some credence if there was any possibility at all. Marlena volunteered to assist however she could. Marlena said she hoped Lee, her previous patient, would receive some justice. After thanking Marlena, Jada walked out. Later, Leo unexpectedly knocked on Marlena's door as she was leafing through a book. Leo began to ramble on and on about how much Marlena was appreciated. Leo said he had to make an appointment with Marlena right away when she eventually calmed him down enough to explain why he was there. Leo clarified that he believed he might be changing into someone else. Leo was invited to sit and speak with Marlena. Following his disclosure to Marlena about Carrie's ordeal, Leo likened it to a scene from Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Leo was asked by Marlena to examine the notion that Dimitri might be the true cause of Leo's strange conduct. She reminded Leo that he had been severely injured by Dimitri, so maybe Leo's fight-or-flight reaction had been activated by his meeting with Carrie. Leo questioned whether he was truly over Dimitri as he had believed. If this meant Leo would never be attracted to another man, he questioned Marlena. Am I straight now? Leo inquired. No! Marlena let out a cry right away. Marlena clarified that Leo would meet a good man and rediscover love, so she wasn't concerned about it. In her words, Leo should be patient and let yourself heal from the breakup with Dimitri. Leo committed to giving himself some grace. He expressed gratitude to Marlena for her assistance. Leo became agitated upon realizing the time. He announced that he needed to watch RuPaul's Drag Race at home. He was invited to stay and watch it with Marlena. Yes! Leo gladly agreed. Leo and Marlena watched the show together while enjoying a bowl of popcorn. Following his education about the circumstances behind the exhumation, Rafe designated Abigail's burial to be a crime scene. He advised Jack and Chad to return home to get a handle on their thoughts. Jada went to join them. Jada was sent by Rafe to contact a forensics team. Rafe informed Jack and Chad that after Abigail's body was placed into the coffin, the first thing to do would be to check if it had been tampered with. Rafe wondered, Clyde could have just created all of this to support his story of Abigail still being alive. I wouldn't rule it out for him, Chad said somberly. Rafe remarked, I'll be in touch, as Jack and Chad departed the cemetery. Jada came back. So, what is going on? She said Rafe after taking a quick look inside the empty casket. Jada inquired if Abigail could still be alive after Rafe had caught her up to date. Even while Rafe acknowledged that was the most unlikely scenario, it was still conceivable. Jada speculated that Clyde might have been the victim of a prank. It was evident to Jada that Rafe thought Chad was still hoping. Rafe reasoned that if Clyde had taken Abigail's body, he would have needed to find a safe place to store it. Jada speculated that Clyde may have buried the remains at a different location. Rafe noted that it was possible Abigail had never even been in the casket. The whole thing was described by Jada as strange and sad. The following day, Jada told Rafe she was going to meet Bobby at Bayview. Bobby was reading a book on his bed at Bayview. A knock on the door was heard. Bobby shouted, inquiring as to whether it was Jada. I apologize for disappointing you, Connie remarked as she waited in the doorway. Well, aren't you going to say hello? Connie inquired. Bobby relived the moment when he heard Connie sobbing in the park the night Lee was killed. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.